Good morning, people. Watch Woman 65. Lisa Boyce here. I have an article that was given to me by Keegan, Brother Keegan. And my back itch. Sorry about that. It's saying that Israeli economists who predicted the 2015 market crash now warns of a worldwide economic crash this summer. Now, the article goes on to say a worldwide economic crash will happen this summer. Now, we know that it's just a matter of time before all hell breaks loose on this earth. But it says here, this is a warning from an Israeli economist by the name of Rafi Farber. And he says that the financial journalist spoke candidly with breaking Israeli news, explaining why, based on his calculations, the dollar, listen to this, the dollar will collapse in late August, September of this year. Now, this man has been accurate, according to them. And more importantly, what you can do to minimize the damage it will cause. Well, hopefully we won't be here. But he goes on to explain that all major market crashes, such as the one that catalyzed the 1929 depression, were all sparked by panic. Thus, Farber believes that his summer people will realize that something is wrong. And when that happens, the value of the dollar will collapse, and the entire collapse will take only a matter of months, maybe a year at most, he explains. Why the summer, they ask. Farber points out that all major historic crashes happened during August, September, including the 1929, the 1987, and the 2008 crash that happened. The reason, he explained, is because of the way the economy works. The money supply in America keeps expanding all the time. If it ever stops, prices of bonds go down. The money supply will always seem to slow down by August, September every year, Farber says. When questioned about his experience in predicting financial collapse, he said before the 2015 August 24 Black Monday stock market, I remember that. Before that crash, he said he wrote an article about it before it happened and shorted the NASDAQ and longed the VEX. 9 days later, he said he did very well. This is in 2008. Farber highlights the difference between 2008. Now listen to this. The difference between 2008, besides the fact that Obama was in office, and the upcoming dollar collapse, noting, what is happening this year? The bubble is not in housing. It's in the dollar itself. Treasury bonds are at an all-time low. The government admitted that the CPI inflation rate is 2.3% per year. The interest rate paid on Treasury bonds is 1.3%. This means you're guaranteed to lose money if you buy a 10-year Treasury bond in the U.S., period. In Europe, it's even worse. So why are banks buying these bonds? And he said the reason is because they assume that someone else will buy it from them later. He said that is insanity, since the value of the dollar is based on the people's imagination that debts can be paid, which it can't. The role of coronavirus. The collapse will start suddenly and take about a year. Not 10, 15, but 1 year. The crew of of all of this, most of the dollars you deal with and entrepreneurs and industrialists generally deal with are locked up in institutional bank deposits, not consumer bank accounts. Those dollars are being bounced between institutional investors, not being used to bid up goods and services directly. They bid up assets, not consumer goods. But when growth stalls, possibly because of the coronavirus shutting down production, the entire pyramid falls. The entire pyramid falls, and all those dollars have nowhere to go but the commodities sector. So instead of institutions bidding up the price of bonds and equities, they bid up commodities directly. It's not consumers bidding up goods and services, it's institutions that will do it in this time. Consumers are left with nothing but debt. And hyperinflation shows up within months instead of taking 10 to 15 years as it did in 1914 to 1923, and Israel from 1970 to 1985. It will take a year, like what happened in Paris in 1719 to 1720 during the John Law Mississippi bubble, he explained. But even before the coronavirus happened in September 2019, overnight interest rates shot up 10%. Nobody really understands why, but since then, the Fed has been printing about, listen to this, 30 to 200 billion a day. That's already a liquidity crisis, he added. And if production in China is still shut down, we'll be in negative supply rates by August. I'm going to leave the article to this in the description box because he said, is there anything that can happen to stop this? He said nothing can stop this. He said at this point there is nothing at all that can deter this, unfortunately. The only thing is that they massively cut spending. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So I wanted to put this out there because with the stock market breaking and crashing like it did yesterday and the day before, it's just a matter of time. I have been saying this all along. It's just a matter of time. We're being set up for the seals in Revelation. Listen carefully. I'm not saying that we're in the seals at all. It's being set up for that. It's being set up for that. We're not in that. If we were in the seals, if we were in the tribulation period, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be trying to figure out a way to survive, and so would you. Because there wouldn't be any internet. And if it was, it would be very sporadic. But everything that's being shown now is being set up for the seals. Remember, it's in the, I think it's the fourth seal or fifth seal. A shekel of wheat, a day's wages for bread. I'm paraphrasing that. But this is all being set up for the seals. And granted, like I said, we're not going to be here. And we're not in the seals now. And I don't want someone writing and saying, oh, you said that we were in the seals. No, I did not. I said if we were in the tribulation, we wouldn't be talking right now. I know I wouldn't. But I wanted to give you this article to let you know what's going on and what's going to happen in the future. The dollar is going to collapse this year. And I believe that. I believe that with all my heart. I believe it. So I will leave the article, I will leave the link in the description box. I'll be back on later with more stuff. Thank you.